Beloved brothers and sisters, yes, with the true church, true temple, true mosque, these have nothing to do with buildings. The true church is not a building. The true temple is not a building. The true mosque is not a building. Wherever you are, at whatever time, if your ego, your false identity about yourself goes down, reduces, that time and place, you are in the church. You are in the mosque. You are in the temple. The ego means you being pure spirit. Anything additional is an impurity in one sense. So when you drop the impurity, you are in the church. You are in the temple. You are in the mosque. If you are in a building labeled church, temple, mosque, and the addition to your pure spirit is increasing, that is not a church. That is not a temple. That is not a true mosque. These things we need to understand. In fact, you can be in a crowd and be in the church. You can be in the forest alone and be in the church, in the temple, or in the mosque. So it's not a question of a building. Anywhere our ego, false identity increases, we are outside the true church. We are outside the true temple. We are outside the true mosque. So if we are in a building with these labels and our ego, the false identity is increasing, if we have things that we add to our pure spirit, and those things we add are not pure, then we are not in the true church. Truly speaking, the great ones who have walked this planet, anywhere they stepped, they were in the true church. From day one up to the time they dropped from the world, they have been in the true church, in the true temple, in the true mosque. And it wasn't the affair of a building. Anytime they got into a place that is a building with people inside, no matter what they label, their presence there is just to give compassion, to serve. In other words, because they live in purity, they radiate that purity. They live in love. They radiate love. They live in peace. They radiate peace. So, anywhere they go, if it is a building with people, they are there with only the purpose of service to the people. And that should be the hallmark of belonging to what we call church, temple, mosque. As long as you live in the true church, true temple, true mosque, you carry it with you. So it's not a building you enter and you leave. You carry it with you because it is your aura. It is your field of consciousness. Your field of consciousness determines your state. Like we say, heaven, hell. You are a spirit pure. So if you have additions to that purity, if the additions which are impure compared to the spirit, if they become so much, they become burdens. I mean, it's a burden unto you. And when that burden becomes so heavy, then you are in a hellish condition. So you can be here, or you can be in a building, labeled anyway, whatever you want, and you may be in hell. Why? Because the burden may be so heavy and it is out of control. In fact, when you carry the true church, or you are in the true church, anywhere you go, you are in it. You don't enter and leave. You are in it constantly. When you are in it, you're already in heaven. Because heaven is a place of peace, and you are living in peace. Your field of consciousness is peace. Heaven is a place of love. Your field of consciousness is love. Heaven is a place of joy. Your field of consciousness is joy. So what is your problem? You are in heaven. Not to be waiting for a heaven. Live it here. Have an inner cutting off from the impurity we have piled upon ourselves, which gives us the false identity. Now, sometimes you see a mad person, a crazy person, He takes all the clothing in this world and wears them. And the movement of this mad person is so clumsy. Very heavy clothing. The mad person moves about and is in a sense weighed down by the clothing. Every step, the movement is cumbersome, really very tiring, but he manages to keep going. But then, the opposite of that is also there. So it's actually hellish when we are weighed down by the inferior energy, the lower energy, the lower frequencies. When you raise your frequency to the highest point, then you are pure. Your original state, very pure. And in that purity, you are in heaven. It's actually attainable here. When we are thinking in future to attain it, sorry, that shouldn't be. There's something you should attain here. And when it is all around you as a field of your awareness, whether you are in a room, whether you are in the open field, whether you are in the crowd, whether you are, alone somewhere, you are in the bush, the mountains, anywhere you are in heaven. You can be in hell wherever you go, and you are carrying it with you. In your field of consciousness, if you have dumped inferior energy so much, it gets to a point, it is out of control. And that point, you are in hell. Wherever you go, you are carrying it. Even if there is a house or a building labeled church and you enter it, carrying that field of negativity, you are still in hell. It's not a building matter. If you are in a temple carrying negativity, you are in hell. Your field of consciousness should determine what state you are in. So this is a simple message I'm giving to you.